Welcome to Faith Family. Welcome to our lesson study series. The lesson title for this week's lesson is Front and Center. Our key text will be from the book of Mark, chapter 3, verses 3 and 4, which reads, I'll be reading from the NIV. Jesus said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Stand up in front of everyone." Then Jesus asked them, "Which is lawful in the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they remained silent. In the healing of the withered hand, Jesus condemned the customs of the Jews and left the fourth commandment standing as God had given it. Is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath day? He declared. But sweeping away the senseless restrictions of the Jews, Jesus honored the Sabbath, while those who complained of him were dishonoring the whole day. That is from Isaiah of Ages, page 287. So this week's lesson is the story of Christ healing a man at the synagogue. That is from Mark chapter 3 verses 1 and 6. So this week's lesson is showing us a different aspect of Christ performing a miracle. And Christ performing this miracle was him teaching a lesson to the Pharisees and to the teachers of the law. He was teaching them of what is required of them on the Sabbath. That is when he asked them this question in the key text of the lesson this week. Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil? As he performs this miracle, Christ ensures that he has the attention of his audience. He takes keen notice to make sure that he has their attention. He asks this person to rise up from his seat, to stand, and he looks around before he proclaims this miracle unto this man. He gives to the attention the moral of the Sabbath, that it is for them to do good unto others and not just for them to observe their mere laws.
The Sabbath day is a delightful communion with God and one another. So we see how Christ, after the creation, that's in the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 1 to 3, which says that after he had finished his creation, he rested on the seventh day. And so to us, he has given us, even in the laws, that he has given us that we should remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. But what we never intend to do. So he told us to keep it, to remember, because he actually knew that we forget. That's why he told us to remember the Sabbath.
In as much as Christ, the Lord tells us to remember this Sabbath day, and even as the Pharisees try to make it seem like a burden, the Sabbath is a blessing unto us. I'd like us to read from Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 2, where he talks about, "Blessed is the man who does this, blessed is the man who does this, and the son of man who holds it fast, who keeps the Sabbath, not profaning it, and keeps his hand away from doing evil." So the Sabbath is given to us as a blessing. It's given to us as a blessing, and rather it's not supposed to be a burden unto us. In Mark chapter 12 verses 27, it talks about us meeting the needs of people and not the people meeting the needs of the Sabbath. We are supposed to be of service to fellow man. It's supposed to be a day that makes us feel at Jesus' feet and feel eased and not burdened of our daily week struggle. We should let go of our daily week's burdens and feel at home at Jesus' feet.
So throughout the week, there's been this tension about what we should not be doing during the Sabbath and what we should be doing during the Sabbath. And it's an argument that needs to be taken into consideration. Since the way we are taking some things we are doing in church during the Sabbath, we are just doing them due to kuzoea. So to make this point stick, there's this particular story of a young man during the Sabbath. during the lesson period, this young man asked his teacher, just tell me what I'm not supposed to do during the Sabbath, and I'll be fine. And the teacher was like, okay, he wants to know what not to do. So this teacher gave him a bottle of water. So the boy was wondering what this bottle of water for. And then the teacher told him, okay, to answer your question, I'll tell you what the things not to do during the Sabbath. But first, I want you to do something for me. Tell me everything that's not inside this bottle. So everyone in the class was like, what type of question is the teacher asking this boy? And the boy did not seem to understand what the teacher was asking. And so the teacher continued and told him, so in this bottle, there are ingredients in the list of ingredients behind the bottle. For you, I want you to state everything that's not in the ingredients. The boy was still confused. And then the teacher started mentioning a list of things, started saying random things like mashed potatoes, aloe vera, aluminium foil. And this boy was like, okay, now I get it. So what this particular story is trying to tell us is that our focus should not be on the things outside this bottle now, outside the Sabbath, but we should be focusing on what to do during this Sabbath. And just to shed some light on this thing, there is this particular scholar called Calvin. His name was Calvin Miller. Said our focus needs to be on hungering after what God wants, rather than merely trying to quit what He does not want us. So what he was trying to mean was that don't quit things that you think are bad because they are not in the Bible, but you should focus on the good things that the Sabbath has been placed there for. Focusing on the Sabbath rather than not to do during the Sabbath. I think you are getting the idea.
Talking about that illustration reminds me of something else, that some other different illustration that Christ used on the Pharisees, but not in relation to what we're talking about this day, but it kind of brings some light into what we're discussing today. Christ tells the Pharisees, when he talks about the Pharisees washing the outside of the cup rather than washing the inside of the cup, that is like them focusing on the outward expressions of the Sabbath rather than them faithfully adhering to the Sabbath. So in this case, we're talking about, let us not forget, when this, I'm trying to listen to that story and I'm getting the vibe that this person was trying to avoid thinking about the Sabbath and wanting to observe laws, which is something that we normally want to do. We normally want to be told, don't do this, and rather than us sitting down and meditating about the Sabbath. When Christ calls us to come sit down and reason together, the Sabbath is about us coming together as a church and us worshiping God. It calls for us not to make a routine out of the Sabbath, and rather calls for us to come and sit down and have an understanding between us and God. So us asking for what not to do on the Sabbath is us trying to shut our minds and be like, we have closed ourselves and want a routine, you see. And when Christ is talking about this, he's trying to remove the notion of us having a routine in our minds and bring the notion that we need to sit down and harmonize together and sit together in Christ and harmonize together and be of service to Christ. And being of service to Christ does not come in by us having a routine. When you have a routine, if you look at the story of the Samaritan, these people were basically having a routine such that them seeing this person injured by the road on the side, by the roadside, they never took in to assist this person. So them having the routine in their head that I'm supposed to go to Amajiko, I'm supposed to go to church, they never it never clicked to them that they're supposed to assist this person. So the writer of the lesson is trying to tell us that we need to have a communion in the Christ rather than us focusing on rules. Somewhere in the lesson, there is this thing that really captivated my mind and it was really funny for me. In the Did You Know part, they talk about the strict rules that the Jewish leaders made. The strict rules that the Jewish leaders made for the Sabbath observance were intended to preserve the sanctity of the Sabbath, but failed to reveal the great purpose of the day of rest. And they give an example of, so their intentions were really intentions were pure, but these things you normally do I'll ask this random question. What are some of the activities that you normally do church that honestly for you as a person you feel like you don't get the actual meaning of some of the activities you do?
So there are a lot of things we do in church, like the communion, Holy Communion. It has reached a point that for us Adventists, we feel like it's a routine. Every year we're having a communion, we gather in church, we take the sacrament. 2 months ago. In short, you get that we're taking this communion has become a routine that to now attach kukula to sacrament. But you're focusing on why you're going. We're missing the point on why you're going to take the sacrament. That's one of the things.
Another thing, another thing that also we normally miss the point is, people normally say that you normally go to church, stand up, do the hymn, sit down, stand up and pray. We normally don't, it becomes a routine and we don't see the purpose of us having this standing up for prayer, kneeling down for prayer is us honoring God, and it's not just a formality of us standing and sitting down. So it's not a matter of standing and sitting down because you can pray while sitting down, you can sing while sitting down. But the essence of us having all these things being done is honoring God. So it's more, but it's more depth. It has more depth in what you normally do on the Sabbath rather than outwardly how it looks like. So when you look at the story of, I was reading the example before I got to me. So the example they gave is, did you know that if a wall collapsed, for example, did you know that if a wall collapsed on someone, it was lawful to clear only enough debris to see the individual who are alive or dead. If alive, you are allowed to help the person. If dead, you have to leave them there until it's done. So, us having restrictions and having laws kind of makes us become robots, and human beings are not robots. Basically. So, you need to take these considerations into mind and really think during the Sabbath what is required of me on the Sabbath, and not just wanting to follow observation that my parents do this and don't do that on the Sabbath. So, the Sabbath is more of us thinking of what is in the Sabbath.
So yeah, as you have seen during the whole lesson, it's more of what is inside than what's outside, or the outer appearance to the society. For you coming to the Sabbath, it's not that you're coming to show people I'm an Adventist. It's you coming and doing what you're going to do in church. I know it's human of us to make this a habit until you find that it's a normality, but keep in mind that I'm going to church to serve the Lord and to honor His name, and all will be well. That's it for us today. That was the lesson for the week. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. See you again in the next video. Bye.